Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and mysterious stories in American coin history, the Liberty 1 cent 1973 USA coin. At first glance, it looks like just another penny, something most people wouldn't even bother picking up from the ground. But under the right conditions, with the right errors, mistakes, and rare mint mark possibilities, this humble 1 cent coin has been linked to jaw-dropping values that go far beyond imagination, with stories and collector speculation pushing its worth as high as $218 million. This isn't just a story about money, it's a story about history, chance, human error, and the incredible world of coin collecting where the smallest details can create massive fortunes. Most people think of a penny as the lowest form of currency, something that barely buys anything and often ends up forgotten in drawers or jars. The 1973 Liberty 1 cent coin entered circulation during a time when the United States was going through major economic and cultural changes. Inflation was rising, metal prices were fluctuating, and the U.S. Mint was under pressure to produce massive quantities of coins quickly and efficiently. When speed, volume, and human involvement collide, mistakes become inevitable. These mistakes are exactly where the magic begins for collectors. The Liberty 1 cent 1973 coin is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Millions upon millions of these coins were produced, and the vast majority are worth only their face value today. However, collectors know that rarity is not always about how many coins were made, but about how many coins survived with specific characteristics that should never have existed. Errors, die mistakes, metal composition issues, off-center strikes, doubled designs, missing mint marks, and even experimental planchets all play a role in transforming an ordinary penny into a legendary artifact. One of the most talked about aspects of the 1973 Liberty 1 cent is the possibility of striking errors related to planchets. A planchet is the blank metal disc that becomes a coin when struck by the dies. In 1973, the U.S. Mint was still using copper-based compositions for pennies, but the early 1970s were a period of experimentation and transition. There were discussions, tests, and internal trials involving alternative metals due to rising copper costs. If even a tiny number of 1973 pennies were struck on the wrong planchets, such as bronze blanks from earlier years, foreign planchets, or experimental metal compositions, those coins would instantly become legendary. A confirmed wrong metal strike from this year could reach values that most people would never believe, especially if it were unique or one of only a few known examples. Another major source of value comes from double die errors. These occur when the die used to strike the coin receives a misaligned impression during its creation. The result is doubling that appears on the coin itself.